What's going on, guys? We're back today. It's a hot one, as you can see. We're back out in the park, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to never get injured again. You heard it right. It's not clickbait. I'm going to run you through the top 5 things I do to make sure my body stays functional, not getting hurt. Because guys, if you're working out even just 3 times a week to 7 days a week, you're going to have to stretch, do some mobility work, all this stuff to make sure your joints don't get stiff and you don't get injured, guys. Because the last thing you want is to sideline those gains or your fat loss journey for a couple months because you were stupid and didn't take 20 minutes out of your day to stretch. All right, so we're gonna get into that right now, guys. Stay tuned. All right, guys, first tip today is gonna be warm up. All right, so before you work out every time, don't care if you're going on a sprint, don't care if you're weightlifting, don't care if you're powerlifting, don't care if you're doing jujitsu. Doesn't matter, guys. You're gonna have to warm up, and the most optimal way to warm up is gonna be through dynamic stretching. Now, guys, dynamic stretching is gonna be for the upper body or arms is gonna be arm circles. There we go. Arm circles, guys, that's the first one you're gonna wanna do. It's gonna loosen up the rotator cuffs, the joints and all that. Do that before any type of upper body movement. The second one I'm gonna recommend is gonna be arm crosses, guys. That's where you're moving your arms back and forth across your body. That's gonna loosen up your pectorals and your back muscles as well as your shoulders too, guys. So make sure you're doing these for at least 30 seconds each before your lift. And the second part of this, guys, for the lower half, how you're gonna do a dynamic stretch is gonna be by doing those leg swings. Leg swings, I'm gonna throw up a video on the screen of how to do that, guys. That's gonna loosen up your hips. Do this before any type of leg movement. That includes running, that includes maxing out in squats. Okay, second thing is gonna be walking lunges. All right, guys, make sure you're doing some walking lunges as well. This is gonna make sure your joints are nice and loose for you guys to either max out on squat or just do a nice 1 mile sprint or whatever. So, on to the second thing, and that's gonna be proper form / controlling the weight, guys. Now, this is something a lot of people think they're doing, and they're not. Guys, so listen, proper form. This is making sure that the way you're lifting, let's say a bench press, is the most optimal for you to move the most amount of weight without injuring yourself. Okay, guys, so the first thing you're gonna have to do for proper form is make sure that your balance is in check and to make sure that your posture is in check. Those are very pivotal, guys, because if either of those things are missing, you're not gonna have proper form. Okay, so let's also talk about motor unit recruitment. So, guys, if you're doing a movement wrong, let's say you're doing squats and you're leaning a little bit to your right side versus your left, guys, this is not good because guess what? As you progress the weight, yeah, maybe your back doesn't hurt now, but you started at 135 by doing that. Now you're up to 225 doing the same thing, and guys, my right hip hurts. Well, I wonder why, guys, because you taught your body to put unnecessary pressure on that right side of your body because you had improper form the entire time, guys, and that's how you get injured. So, first thing. Second thing, guys, controlling the weight, mind-muscle connection. So if you guys are doing lat pull downs and you're not pulling with your elbows and you don't feel that stretch in the lats, then guys, you're gonna be pulling with the synergistic muscles is what they're called. Those are the things that help the prime mover. So in lat pull downs, that's gonna be your brachialis and your bicep, and also the rear delts, because those all assist, those are synergistic muscles, those assist the lats and the lat pull down. So if you guys are not controlling the weight and don't have proper mind-muscle connection, your synergistic muscles are going to be taking over, therefore leading to an injury and or underdeveloped lats, which will lead to an injury later down the line. Okay, so that's the second thing. Number 3, guys, is do not overtrain. Now, I know most people don't have a problem with this because you probably have a problem even getting in the gym. But for you gym rats, athletes, all you guys out there that are used to working out every single damn day, don't overtrain, guys. So what does this mean for us weightlifting specifically? So, guys, what you're gonna wanna do is hit a muscle group. So that's the pecs is one muscle group, shoulders, separate muscle group, biceps, separate muscle group. You're gonna wanna hit each muscle group 9 to 20 sets a week for optimal amount of muscle growth. Anything less than that, not optimal. Anything more, not optimal. Oh, Kelly, but what about muscle nuclei overload training? I hit arms every day for a whole month and my arms grew half an inch. Yeah, guys, there may be inflammation, all right, but you're not gonna get those long-term gains because in order for the muscle to grow, it needs to have a resting period where you're not breaking down that tissue. Because what is lifting, guys? Breaking down the tissue. Therefore, muscle growth happens when you are not lifting, when the tissue is being repaired. So guys, you also need to take 48 hours in between training each muscle. So don't be hitting chest one day and then the next day hit just bench press again before your shoulder day. All right, unless you're a power lifter specifically working on building up your strength in movements and you're not concerned with hypertrophy, then do that. But if you're concerned with hypertrophy and putting on muscle size, guys, do not train muscles more than 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, that's my recommendation. Again, it all boils down to volume, so 9 to 20 sets. Now that you guys know the sets, let's go to reps. You're going to do 6 to 12 reps for your type 2 muscles. Okay, so those are your bigger muscles. Those are your chests. Those are your quads. Those are the muscles that are moving the most amount of weight. All right, guys, so that's 6 to 12 reps. And for your type 1 muscles, those are your biceps, triceps, the smaller muscles. You're gonna wanna be doing 8 to 15 reps. Okay, so anything more than that is endurance training. You're not making gains. Maybe for a burnout, it could be effective, build up that lactic acid and whatnot, but we won't go into semantics. All right, and then guys, the last tip I have for do not overtrain is go until you can't get, so let's say I started my first set of dumbbell bench with 60 pounds. Okay, so by that third set, let's say that's my last set, if I can get 60 pounds for the same amount of reps that I got the first set, I'm not training hard enough, okay? But you don't wanna go past dropping 2 to 3 reps. So if I could do 60 pounds for 10 reps in the last set, I can only do it for 7 reps. Perfect, guys, that's exactly what you want. You're not overtraining, you're building down that muscle, so we'll be ready to go in those 48 hours. All right, guys, so keep this all in mind. Let's move on to the fourth thing you guys are gonna need to never get injured again, and that is gonna be a static stretch routine post-workout or after you work out in the day. Guys, you don't want a static stretch, which means standing in place stretching. That's like bending down, touching your toes. That's like all those stationary ones. Don't do those before your lift, okay? Because it might be actually counterintuitive to stretch out your muscle too much. I don't know, there's whole science behind that, guys. I won't get into that. The bottom line is you're gonna wanna do your static stretching at least 5 times a week for optimal results, guys. 5 times a week, hold each stretch for 30 seconds each, 1 to 2 sets. Now, guys, this has personally been the most important thing that I've implemented into my recovery program to never get injured. Guys, I hurt my back when I was 16 in high school from deadlifting, and I have not had a major injury since because I went to physical therapy. They taught me all the proper stretches. Guys, a lot of injuries happen because you have muscles that are very shortened, okay? And you need to lengthen them by stretching them, because when they're shortened, they're too tight and they can't function properly. It limits the range of motion and it causes synergistic muscles to take over. So guys, static stretch routine, find your own. I'm gonna come out with a video probably in a couple weeks showing my static stretch routine. So that's the fourth thing, guys. Let's get into the last thing today, and that is gonna be rest days / deload phase. Guys, personally, this is what I mean by rest days. I don't take a rest day, which means I don't do any type of physical activity unless I physically can't go to the gym. So I'm traveling or something like that, okay guys? So I'm always doing something. So when I mean rest day, I mean active recovery. So in your guys' rest day, let's say you're lifting 6 times a week, okay? You gotta push-pull legs split. On that 7th day, guys, you should be doing extra static stretching. You should be doing maybe some mobility work, okay? Loosen those shoulders, do some band dislocates, guys. Go on a walk, do some cardio. It's always good to stay active, guys. Also, you wanna move that lactic acid around by doing cardio. Guys, cardio will help you with gains. Yeah, it's gonna make you eat more calories because it's all about calories in versus calories out. But if you do cardio after your lift, it moves the lactic acid around, which makes you less sore next time. So keep that in mind as well, guys. So yeah, rest days, I mean, guys, you gotta be doing something. At least move, like I said, walk and all that. So let's move on, deloading phase. So this is for you guys that have been lifting seriously, pushing yourself in the gym for maybe 2 or 4 weeks straight. I'm sore, I can't recover. Okay guys, if you're having a struggle recovering because you've been going hard in the gym for a few weeks or a month or 2, take a deload. A deload is about 3 to 7 days where you don't lift weights. Okay, so I mean, you could lift weights. So I'm gonna go into two options. Either you don't lift weights, guys, so you still be active, like I said, on my rest day, do some static stretching, mobility, whatnot. Or what you could do is you could go in the gym and work on your compound lifts, like bench press, squat, or whatnot, to make sure your motor units are still intact and whatnot, and just do like a quarter of the weight. So if you normally squat 225, you're gonna go in there and literally do a 95 pounds, okay, for like 4 sets of 5, just to make sure everything's intact and good, guys. Deloading is very, very important, okay, guys, and also rest days are important, okay? Don't forget to get your sleep too. That's also important. So that is gonna be my last tip. All right, guys, so that's gonna be my top 5 ways to never get injured again. Guys, I haven't been injured in years now because I implemented these into my training routine. So if you guys like the content, make sure to like, comment, and or subscribe. I'll be back with workout content, training plans, all that coming soon, guys. Appreciate the love, appreciate you for sticking around. I'll catch you next time.